In the United States, while the overall population death rate by suicide is double that of black populations, the suicide death rate for men is more than 3 times the rate for women in the black population. And a recent report from the CDC shows that the rate of suicide is increasing in this country. For more on these climbing statistics, the causes and solutions, we're joined now by Dr. Ruth White, who's an expert on this subject. Thank you so much, doctor, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it.
Again.
Let's start with Twitch, because such a happy-looking guy, always had a big smile on his face, was in the entertainment world. We all got to see him every day. Beautiful family, and something was going on. So talk about how people can put up this facade. What is that all about?
Well, they suffer in silence, and I can talk from my own personal experience. So I have bipolar disorder, and I actually had been hospitalized before, and I struggled at times with those feelings. And everybody is different, like what the causes are, what the sources are. For some people, it's a chemical imbalance. For other people, it's things like, you know, depression, loss of a job. There are a lot of people that are struggling with trauma that they've had, whether it's exposure to violence. Also just feeling as if, you know, you lose a job and you can't come home. There are people who don't even tell their partners for a long time, right? Because you lose your identity, you're feeling like the world is closing in on you. And so for a lot of people, especially with social media now, right? Everybody's life looks perfect.
Right.
Because that's what they show you.
Is it harder this time of year because of the holidays, more pressure?
You know, what's really interesting is that a lot of people think that there's more suicide in the holidays, and it turns out that it isn't, actually. Part of it is about not just the holidays, but there are people that suffer from what's called seasonal affective disorder, so there's less light, and so a lot of people, the darkness really gets to them. When I lived in Seattle, they actually recommended that most people take vitamin D supplements, especially if you had brown skin, because you don't absorb the light as much. So, yes, this time of year does have people, you know, feeling more down and sometimes feeling more depressed. But in terms of suicide rates, it doesn't really peak at this time, even though there's so much going on. And it might be that, you know, people are visiting with family, maybe they're just more joyful, people are going to more parties, etc.
Why is it such an issue with black men? What is going on with black men to where they commit suicide more often than black women? I mean, way more.
Yes, so in all populations, men tend to commit suicide more than women, even though in some populations, women actually attempt, but they often don't complete, because men often use more violent ways, like guns, that are going to make sure that you are dead.
85 to 90% of those who attempt suicide by a firearm are successful.
Exactly, right? Whereas with pills, somebody can, you know, find you, or you might not take enough, etc. And so a lot of, so with black men, it's almost 4 times actually the rates of black women. And a lot of that has to do with cultural expectations about what black manhood is, about what black people are. You know, we went through a lot of trauma historically. People still are going through trauma. The last 2 years have been really, really hard for people. You know, really hard for people, but it's always been hard, right? When you're talking about social unrest, violence, racism, systemic racism.
And is it something about asking for help is seen as a sign of weakness?
Yes, and that, I will say that that's a stigma that has been across all groups for a long time, but in terms of African Americans and, say, Latinx populations, that it is more of a stigma. Right? And it's harder for them to access the resources that they need for all kinds of reasons. Culturally not appropriate, not covered by insurance, so they don't have the kinds of jobs that provide the insurance that gives the coverage that they need to get the help that they need.
And it can be just embarrassing to admit to somebody, I can't deal with this situation, I need help, but that could be the strongest thing that somebody could do.
Yes.
Right?
Asking for help is definitely something that requires vulnerability. One of the projects that's really amazing, it's called the Confess Project, and it's almost 2,000 barbers and stylists in the African American community that have been trained to be mental health advocates, so that it's a place, the Black Barbershop is a place where, you know, people talk about a lot of different things. There's been the barbershop movies where you see black men talking about a wide range of things, and making it a place where you can talk about mental health and find support and normalize talking about these things.
Is it okay for somebody to lower their expectations, to try to bring the bar down a little bit? Because I thought what Tyler Perry said was really interesting, and I've heard this before, where you can't really appreciate success until you've experienced failure. I mean, you enjoy winning more when you've lost in the past. It puts things in better perspective. So if you're having a tough time, if you know that you can reach out and get help because you have better things ahead, does that I mean, how do you let people know that?
Well, the thing is, it's really hard for people to call somebody and say, you know what, I'm feeling really, really down, right? People don't want to be a burden. That's what we've been trained to be, right? That's the way we're socialized. And so what there has been a lot of times on Facebook, you'll see people say, reach out to your friends. I think connection is really, really important for somebody to be available, right? And not just say, how are you? And cursory, how are you, right? But how are you doing? And if somebody does look as if, or sound as if, or you've seen changes in their personality, or they're not talking to you as often, those phone calls aren't coming as much, reach out and just ask if you can be a support. When you ask if people are okay, they're gonna say they are, right? And if you say, is there anything I can do for you? How can I support you? Is everything okay? Then at least you give the person the opportunity to have that conversation and to start that conversation.
Let's talk about 988. This is a fairly new thing.
Yes.
Nationally, that you can get help, you can call anytime. How does it work?
Well, so the 988 number, and actually I was on Cron 4 talking about it when it launched, is an easy way, right, to access mental health resources. A lot of funding has been designated for increased access, so that it's easier to find, to get this number across the country. There was a time when people would call the suicide prevention hotline and they'd have to wait, or there wasn't a local person. So this funding has been increased. Several states have passed specific funding for this hotline, and I think, I'm not sure if California has passed theirs yet, but they hadn't as of recently. And so that is just an easy way for someone who is feeling the pressure, or if somebody realizes that somebody else is. So you can call on behalf of someone so that you could get resources that you can then support them with.
And it's 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day, and in different languages as well.
Dr. Ruth White, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Something that needs to be talked about more. Appreciate it.